Hey guys, my name's Kris Meredith and I'm one of your presenters here at Psychic today. Now today's a little bit special because joining me, we're going to be talking about today relationships after lockdown. Now, first of all, we've got joining me is a lovely Adam Leonard. How you doing, Adam?
Doing all right, yes.
That's what we like. Absolutely love it. How's lockdown been treating you, my friend?
You know what? I'm not finding it too bad. So I think, one of the things that I've been reflecting on is this lockdown process really makes us think of how we get our emotional resources. And it's something we can go into in a little bit depth, like how we motivate ourselves, how we get that feeling of belonging and a feeling of satisfaction when a lot of our external influences are sort of cut off. So it really does bring about that. And for me, I've been quite self-generating when it comes to my emotional resources. So I haven't found it too bad, and I can tend to work from home and, keep to a nice routine. But there has definitely been that feeling of repression from social, for sure. That's definitely something that I can relate to. But like what we're doing now, I've compensated through, other forms of doing like WhatsApp sort of like video things, and like we're doing here, doing a bit of social media stuff. So to sort of compensate in that way is what I've been doing, really.
It's cool. It's like we're all adapting. I absolutely love it, Adam. And of course, we've got lovely Hands of an Angel with us as well. How are you doing, Hands of an Angel?
I'm doing very fine from Sundays.
Oh, love it. Love it. Missing that part of the world, missing it so much.
I know, well, but we've kept it locked down, really locked down. But you go on the beach and it's dead. It's lovely. It's nice. There are no new tourists all over there.
I love it, Hands of an Angel. Well, we're going to talk today about relationships after lockdown. It's been a stressful time for everybody, but relationships, whether, you still want to be in one, maybe people have started a relationship before lockdown, but now it's kind of easing and we're coming out of it. What is a relationship going to really look like after lockdown? So first of all, Adam, for yourself, do you think people have been feeling, a lot of pressure within relationships while we've been under lockdown?
Well, you've kind of got two factors, I think, is that socially we're bored, and we're all crying out for that human interaction, closeness, intimacy, whatever it would be. And so we've got this huge desire to want to connect, want to be intimate, but at the same time being unable to do so. And I think what that can do is sometimes strain the need to contact a lot. And so what I've found is that with people I've been talking to, my own work, and people I'm talking to and linking into them, is that there's a bit of strain on trying to keep the communication exciting every day. And there's an almost a reliance on it to some degree, which can actually sort of drain a little bit of the spark out of things sometimes. So you've got that aspect, but yet you've also got that excitement of then, well, we can actually go out and we can go to the beach and we can do all these kind of things. The second lockdown's happening. I'm an astrologer, so I've got to take this into account as well, but we've got retrogrades going on. We've got Venus retrograde, we've got Saturn going retrograde. And what these do is bring about these kind of reflective stages. And I found a lot of people reflecting on endings of relationships, especially those that happened at the end of last year. And sort of going, oh, well, I've been alone now, I can't meet anyone. Maybe it wasn't so bad with the ex. And so afterwards, people might be thinking, well, maybe I will meet up with them. I've had second thoughts. And I think a lot of the time, maybe people will end up appreciating things in a different light after lockdown.
Yeah, totally. How about yourself, Hands of an Angel? Do you think there's been, a lot of pressure and strain in relationships right now during lockdown?
Oh, there has definitely been. What I like about this, though, I know it's hard, and we're at home, and I stay at home quite a lot, as you know, but the thought that I cannot go out really makes you want to go out more. So you've got that there. But as for relationships, I think it's just like Adam said, it's either make or break. And I think that people have learned, everybody says that, you know everything about, your partner. You don't until you're with them 24/7. And I think there's been a lot of learning. I think there's been a lot of new beginnings as well, I feel, with that, where they've had to compromise that you can't come in that lounge and you've got to stay in that kitchen, sort of thing. But no, I think it's been good. With the job that I do, I have had an awful lot of people worried because they can't see their other partner. And what are they doing? Well, like I said, in Wales, we're on major lockdown, so they can't go anywhere. But out of Wales, it has been a lot where people are worried because they can't see their partners. What are they doing?
And that's it. That is what are they doing with this spare time? And that's it. So if someone out there, has started a brand new relationship, just before lockdown started, I mean, kind of what does that say for a new relationship? I mean, Adam, we'll go with you first, matey.
It does. It sort of squashes a little bit of enthusiasm, doesn't it? Like, you just started to date each other and you're like, yes, let's go out to this lovely restaurant, or, go walking or hiking or whatever. And you're like, okay, let's imagine doing it with each other.
What do we do?
Let's do a joint meditation with each other over a phone. What do we do? So yeah, it does. It just strain the new beginnings of a relationship, and there's only so much you can do with like videoing and photos and things like this when you start to feel like that. It can't truly compensate for being with someone. And I think it's quite often a lot of relationships that I've noticed have tended to just end up naturally, if they're estranged from each other, so that they're living apart from each other. There will become a natural point where the conversation will sort of become a little bit distant, maybe. And it's like, well, once you've talked about, yes, we'll do this after lockdown, we'll do that, but then not knowing exactly when lockdown's going to end, you're kind of like, then down to, what have you been watching on TV, or have you been doing any fitness, or it's like there becomes a point where that, like, what do you talk about when you actually can't do things with each other? Now, you've got those kind of aspects, but I mean, I think you do have, I know there's another sort of, it's going into a different category, but then you have those that are with each other, living with each other 24/7, which opens up another conversation that maybe we can talk about in a bit.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, hands of an angel. I mean, if, two people are starting a new relationship right now, do you think the momentum would pass by the time lockdown is over?
Yeah, it all depends how long this is. And like Adam said, is you when you first have, I call it the honeymoon period, you're telling everybody, all about yourself and what you like and what you do, and like dancing or whatever. And then, like Adam said, you run out of conversation. I couldn't imagine that with me, though, could you? but you do run out of conversation, and well, the poor person who would be with me would have a headache, put it that way. But no, I quite agree. There's only so much you can do. You can't walk down the beach. You can't. Well, we're allowed to go out jogging, but I can't see me jogging. But you know what I mean? You'd have to be one side of the road to the other. So you still haven't got that conversation with each other, have you? So it's hard. And to say, the work I've been doing, not only in the beginning, the relationships are parting, with the new ones, like I said again, they're saying, where are they going and what are they doing? They're obviously jogging on the other side of the road.
They are. Let's hope they are. Let's hope with that. I mean, Adam said right there, it's going from one extreme to the other. What about, people that have been thrust together that are spending like 24/7 together in each other's company? Because, myself living with my partner, they go to work and you go out with your friends, and, you don't have all your time together, but now we do. And that can create sparks, maybe not the kind of sparks that you want. So, what would you say to people out there that are kind of like, I've had enough, I've had enough of these people? Would you say, just calm down and wait till lockdown is over before you make any rash decisions?
Yes, excuse me. Well, daughter who's sitting right by me, because I'm so bad at computers, she's been with us. She lives in Cardiff, and obviously she's 150 miles away from Cardiff now. So she's been with us since March. So I would imagine she would be like you. But we're enjoying having her, but we're enjoying to get rid of her as well, just to have the house back with the chihuahuas and myself.
There you are. Have your own little piece there, hands of an angel. How about yourself, Adam?
Yeah.
Well, I say when you live with someone, especially when we're in unfamiliar circumstances like we are, there's a lot of people. I mean, to some degree, this all highlights issues and elephants in the room that perhaps are ignored. You know, like when you go to work or when you go out and socialize, you can tend to let off steam in different ways and fulfill yourself in different ways that you are not able to. I think in a close-knit relationship, you'll find different ways in which people are coping, and that rubs off in each other. So you can have a tendency of having too much of someone, and that normal way that someone, me being natural astrology, if you've got someone that's very airy and very fiery, they need to go out and they need to socialize. They need to talk to new people. They need to go out and do new things. Where if your partner is very much like that, they're going to find themselves becoming very stir crazy and annoyed and angry and frustrated. And you're going to see maybe like negative sides of their characters that give you either insight to work on as a couple or irritations. And having boundaries and time out between each other when you're living in the same space is incredibly important. And I think a lot of us will then realize the type of social interaction that we're lacking or needing quite often, especially if we've been with people for a prolonged period of time. I mean, it can actually create a greater bonding in certain ways if you're actually able to talk as a couple into, you know, why you're feeling so frustrated and annoyed or whatever it would be.
That's it, Adam, right there. You got my next question straight there is, you know, will talking, you know, communication is a big thing. We talk about it a lot, you know, here at Psychic Today, but, you know, it's very simple, but sometimes we just forget how to do it. And it is important in relationships. So, you know, if we have been rubbed up the wrong way, would talking about, you know, you snore a lot, you're crunching, you're breathing, whatever's getting on people's wit at the moment with their partners, would you say, Adam, that, you know, just talking to them can kind of diffuse that fire?
Talking never diffuses fire. It fuels it sometimes. If you're looking at elements in that context, sometimes the person just wants to do. They don't want to do something. And so almost they're actually wanting a fight. And when you've got like really calm, airy energy comes along, don't worry, talk about it, etc., they almost get annoyed at it. And they're like egging for a fight because it's just the element of fire that just wants to come out. And so many people, you know, might not be able to do it. Now, if that person then goes and does like a fitness exercise, I think, right, sorry, I'm just going to go and do that. I'm just going to get my energy out. I'm just going to get something done. Then you might be having an opportunity to talk it through. But it's more about the situation, the energy behind things. I mean, ultimately, yes, talking things through. But if we don't have the natural outlets to diffuse and balance ourselves out, quite often the talking can often result to arguing and tit for tats and this kind of thing. It's like, well, you snore too loud, well, you breathe too loud, or, you know, you always chew in a weird way and that's annoying. And it ends up being this battle because we've got all this pent up fire and we can't release it, so we might vent at each other. So it's kind of important to keep that balance, but you can. Many people that, let's just say, in a relationship where that you've got someone that works, you know, during the week, 9 to 5, they're away from home, and you don't have that opportunity to talk and discuss things, that you could have this wonderful bonding stage where you talk about all kinds of things that you'd never usually talk about, and gain insights that you wouldn't know about, secrets that perhaps the person thought they had to remain secret. They suffer from a little bit of depression, or that they're insecure about their body or whatever, and they can't hide it. And suddenly you then talk about it and realize that you're not too separate after all, or that you've actually got the love and care that you never thought was there suddenly.
I love that. What do you think about the Hands of an Angel? Do you think, you know, talking is the key to, you know, a harmonious relationship, you know, after lockdown?
I think Adam's right there. You know what I mean? Yes, it fuels the fire, but it is, you know, I've been talking like to the neighbor and stuff like that, and been learning more things about, you know, ourselves, which is nice. I'm very blessed. I've got a lovely garden because I live in the middle of a field, so I can go out there and vent as much as I like with my chihuahuas, so, you know, kick the cats as you're walking out, sort of thing. But what I have found with this lockdown is, you know, as you know, I'm 60 next year. I was born in 61. We had board games. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have all this technology. And what I've found within the street, you know, when we're all out there clapping on a Thursday and when we talk, they've all gone back to board games, they've gone back to talking, and the family, the kids have gone in the little paddling pools outside and playing, you know, in their gardens and things like that. And I think it's like Mother Earth is rebuilding us again to try and look at the earth in a different way, go back to nature and basics. We don't need all this. We need airplanes, and I should be in Portugal now this minute. You know what I mean? That I am annoyed at. I could be sat there with my pina colada, but we need to go back to basics, I think, and appreciate what we've got more than I want the latest phone or I want the latest computer. And I think that's brought it back. And going back, like I said, board games, communication, I think it's nice. I like it. I got to be honest.
No, I totally agree with you there, Hands of an Angel. I mean, myself, I've liked the time to, you know, just relax, read a book, you know, just take Bert out and not worry, oh, I've got to be back because of this, because of that. And I know we've not been together, but it's been a great time for us to reconnect with people. I really, really do believe that. How about yourself, Adam? What do you think about that?
Well, to not have the distractions is an incredibly good aspect, and whether that distraction ends up being your work or not. I mean, some people are, especially, Hands and Angel will probably relate to this with people in the line of work that we deal with. There's a lot of people in relationships that avoid emotional situations or conversations or whatever due to putting themselves into work. And if they're no longer able to do that, those conversations then need to be had. And you get a newfound feeling of connection. And people, like Hands and Angel said there, chasing the latest fad, chasing the latest phone or digital, this, that, and the other, whatever it would be. You're no longer needing to do that. And quite often, we get stuck into a loop where we don't actually realize that we are permanently chasing things and striving, but never actually appreciating. And we realize that we don't need all these extra things. We're just sort of addicted to chasing it because everyone else is chasing it. We're sort of stuck in the rat race, so to speak. And it gives us that time to, I'm sitting there playing Scrabble with my mum, you know, doing that quite often. Or, you know, Pictionary or charades and those kind of things. But then again, I love that. Any opportunity for me to get out and start doing a bit of acting and drawing and stuff, I'll jump
You need to be
on
on the show, Adam.
Yeah, we will. I will do it.
Oh, go on, Hands of an Angel.
I say I love charades as well, so we'll do it together. but it has. I've got to say what Adam said. I've got the latest phone, I've got the latest computer, I've got the latest watch, I've got the latest everything. And yet, you know, even if I was a multi-billionaire or I'm middle class or penniless, we're all equal in this lockdown, and it doesn't matter how much you have riches. It doesn't. Without being too morbid, the situation is the same. You could be poor, rich, or middle class. You're all in the same boat. And I quite like that a couple of people have been brought down a peg or two of the riches for them to realise that there's more to life than just the latest and riches.
There is more to life. There really, really is within that. And then, so do you think, you know, the lockdown could have brought people together? Do you think, you know, that could be a big positive to take from all of this that we've been through, is that, you know, people are closer together? What do you think about that, Adam?
I think there are many aspects towards this that will affect togetherness. In some ways, it will bring about an awareness of relationships that were relying on distractions. And then when they're suddenly unable to get distracted by other things, they realize that they don't have much in common anymore, and actually and that they actually need to live their own lives, which is freeing and liberating. And equally so, which I'm saying that because I've had experience of those kind of relationships with the work I'm doing. But yeah, equally so, you have people that realizing they have deeper bonds to their family members, to their neighbors, for example, people that you talk to, because people are aching for social. Then you end up walking around your local park doing your exercise, and you know, sort of like trying to stick to the 2 meter rule, but then finding an excuse to talk to them because you usually wouldn't, and then you end up making new bonds and friendships and things. And equally so, I've made quite a few different new friends, social media platforms, just due to the desire to want to talk. So you make new friends in that way, which then creates new opportunities when lockdown finishes, where we go and see them, because you're chatting to them and they might be different areas all over the country or the world or whatever. So it does open up those connections as well.
It definitely does. How about yourself, Hands of an Angel? Do you think it's brought us closer together?
Oh, definitely. You know, our street, as I say, we are like all in fields because we're rural. But, you know, I only knew my one neighbour. Now I know most of them now, which is nice. You know what I mean? When we had that VE day, we had the tables all those meters apart and sat outside, which was nice. And so, yeah, it has brought our community, because it's only small where we live, together. And I think that, you know, we're all like this. We go, oh gosh, them over there. But, you know, them over there have turned out to be really nice people. So, yeah, I think it has brought us together. And like I said it just now, with the riches, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, we're all equal. And I think, yes, it has made us realize that, you know, we're all happy today. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. And we didn't, did we? So, you know, I think people are starting to respect life. You know, you do get the odd one that doesn't respect what we have to do in a supermarket, but that's up to them. But 98% of society, I think, have looked at this and thought, my gosh, you know, this has to happen for us all to realize that what we have is a good thing.
Definitely. We definitely do.
I finished.
We do. No, it's all right. No, it's all right. But it's true, though. We really, really do. That's what it is. It is taking the positive. Well, last question for you both. Adam, what positive will you take down with you after lockdown?
What positive? To me, it's there's a realization of how it's more of a personal thing for me in a weird one. I mean, it's like a lovely family connection. Deeper communications. I think me and my mum have started doing like choir stuff with each other as well. So I've realized I've got a bit of a singing voice there, more of a bass singing voice. I can't do any other high stuff, but I'll be continuing to do that. And just more of a realization actually that keeping a beautiful routine going is incredibly important. When you've got nothing to do, it does highlight what can happen if you end up just letting yourself slip into doing nothing, and the importance of routine and keeping that routine motivated. That's what I'm going to take out of it, to me as well, that deeper connection and the need for routine.
Right. How about yourself, Hands of an Angel?
Yes, it's the case of getting dressed and not staying in my pajamas and having a routine. I've now started getting dressed, as you can see, because you just get into this routine. Well, why bother getting dressed? I'll just put another pair of pajamas on and then going back to bed. But Adam, we'll have a duet because I can sing, and don't forget I'm Welsh as well. And I have sung backing for many famous people, so you better be good. I think what's come out of there for me would be myself, learning about myself, and you know, the limitations that I can do more than I think I can't do because of certain ailments. That I think, and plus I've got a veg garden out the back full of veggies that are growing. That's what I've taken from it. Homemade food, all about me and what I can do.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, for your time today. Hands of an Angel and Adam Leonard. You know, I hope, you know, we've helped maybe give the viewers some guidance on relationships after lockdown and what to take with them after lockdown. So thank you both so very, very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. If you want to stay up to date with all the videos we are putting out here at Sidekick Today, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out.